Darkened, an Animal Jam scary story. One day I was on Animal Jam. It was a really nice day actually. As I was playing, the doorbell rang at my den. I went and everybody was gone. I looked around and nobody was there. Yet it still said someone was there. I was a little freaked, but my computer was glitching. It was glitching anyways. My friends on Skype were a little confused because they were perfectly fine on Animal Jam. I was kind of worrying, so I went on my other account. It worked for a bit, but then the doorbell to my den rang again. This time I could see the jammer. It had lifeless eyes and had no pattern in its fur, except for the dark and deep black color. My animal moved close to it, even though it didn't click. The wolf suddenly dropped to the ground. It looked like the normal sleeping pose, but uh, but a bit different. It was breathing heavily. It wasn't breathing heavily like it always did. Also, little red particles spilled off of every part of its body. I said hi. All it did was the weird sleeping pose. I was I suddenly felt a strange feeling in my stomach. I tried to leave my den, but I couldn't. The wolf then talked to me and said bye. I screamed inside of my head and almost burst into tears. I chanted to myself, it's just pixels, it's just pixels. I finally went onto my couch and screamed in a pillow. I looked at my screen. It was black. I could see a faint picture of claws and a wolf that looked like something out of a horror movie. Suddenly, Animal Jam went back into its home screen. Something looked odd about the screen. The alphas were there, and even the Myra statue, but everything seemed skinnier and more tall looking. I thought my computer had a virus, but I typed my username and password, but it said, can't open right now, Animal Jam is updating. Surprisingly, my friends were still on Skype. I asked them if they had any problems, but they all said no, and that it was quite full in many of the worlds that aren't always full. I was so scared I decided to call AJHQ. I told them something was really wrong on Animal Jam. The room went silent. AJHQ wasn't on. I was about to tell my mom when Animal Jam was on its regular loading screen. I was relieved when I got onto AJ. Then when I went to Jamal, then I went to Jamal. Instead of the regular Jamal music, there was old music that sounded like it was from the woods or something. I was weirded out by how everything was so dull and spooky. I went up to the Myra statue, which wasn't there, and saw a blank wolf. It was spooky. I went up. It was the same wolf that was in my den. I was freaked and left Jamal. I went into the diamond shop and clicked the Arctic wolf statue. It had no animals. The only animal was the lifeless non-member wolf with no eyes. I clicked out of it before I clicked out of it and clicked on the den stand. There was two dens that I'd never even seen before. One was a weird skinny den that was kind of twisted. I previewed the den, and there was a picture of something that almost looked like the Mona Lisa, but with a wolf head. Now, the wolf head wasn't like the ones I saw with no eyes and all black. It had blood stains on its fur and bloodshot eyes. I went into a room with an Arctic wolf with dead black eyes that weren't even on the eye selections because they were too scary. I quickly rushed out of the den because I didn't think I wanted to see the rest. I clicked on the other den and it didn't do anything. I clicked again and it teleported me into a room. It was quite dark. There was nothing much to it until I got to the end. I found a skull of something that almost looked like a gazelle. I was scared because now I knew where the gazelle horns on the top of my Arctic wolf's head came from. I was spooked and quickly got out of the den. Somebody was in the diamond shop. It looked like my friend. She said bye in a voice I knew was evil. The Skype call ended. I thought my friends were tricking me or something until I heard a little scream that was very quiet. and it came from my computer. It seemed like it was screaming, "Help and rescue us." I went to Jamal to see nothing. Then I knew they couldn't be pulling these tricks. They loved me too much, and they couldn't do this in the matter of time I had. I went upstairs to tell my mom, but I totally forgot. She was at a funeral and my dad was coaching a baseball team. I was gonna cry. My Arctic wolf suddenly turned into that black wolf. I didn't even have a wolf that looked like that. The black wolf made my screen all the way black. Then the screen was in it was in Serapia Forest. I wiped my tears away and looked at the horrible screen. There were skulls of dead animals. Blood was everywhere, and even an animal with fur but bones showing in many parts. I wanted to get out, but I couldn't. I just kept walking. I didn't dare to even look. Then it stopped. I looked, and then it stopped. I looked. The other black wolf looked 3D. It was jumping on my computer. I jumped back and screamed with fright. The screen darkened. It kept getting more black. Then cut out of a grayish. Then the cutout of a grayish wolf came over my screen. That was the end of the computer and me.